Hello, it's me, Mon Weezy. I am back again. Another Sunday, another one of these things where I'm here and I'm talking and I'm really trying not to make these like 20 minutes long. I don't know why they've been that long, but I'm gonna try not to let that happen again. It's me, Mon Weezy. I'm back, and if you haven't seen the thumbnail or read the title, then I'll basically tell you what today is about. As a little kid, I was always scared of like insects. They've always scared me, right? Even up to right now, I'm always scared of insects, and I know what you're thinking. I know what a lot of people maybe are thinking, because I have some friends, and I'll be like, oh my god, these insects, they scare me. I get a little scared, and they'll always be like, no, this is false. They're actually very cute and harmless. They are cute, sure. They are harmless, yes. But how harmless can they be, okay? They can be harmless where they don't hurt you, but they can be harmless where they can scare you. And a lot of things can happen when you're scared. I've had my fair share of, I panic a lot, I guess. Anyway, here's what happened. I have a couple little moments of insects I would like to share from my personal experience with insects, and why that has made me feel like a little, nervous when I see an insect. Now, it depends on what kind of insect it is, and I'll get to that. So it's me, Monweezy, and I'll start with this. One of the things that scared me ever since I was a little baby was these things. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'm gonna take a wild guess. June beetles, or I call them green beetles because they're green. And you might be like, well, why are they called June beetles? I don't know. I haven't done any research. I always get a little nervous looking at Google photos of them. But what are they, right? It's very simple. They're these beetles. They're green. They're like the size of Mettaton over here, kind of like his size. So as in, like, they're buzzing around like, oh my god, help, help, ah! That's kind of like how I feel whenever I see them, especially when they're nearby. Like, one time I was in the lunch line at school. I was just sitting there, I was just minding my own business. There's no like indoor but at my school besides like classrooms, but the hallways and the quad and everything that's outside for the sun. And well, what does any of this have to do with the beetles? Well, during the hot climate, they love to come out. So again, imagine Mettaton as the green beetle here. I'd be hanging out, waiting in line. What am I gonna be eating today? What could I choose today? No, because the beetle, he would come flying out, and I'll be like, oh my god! And the good news is I haven't been attacked from these beetle guys, I'll always be like, oh my god! And they'll fly right by me, right? But they haven't attacked me in a long time. When did they attack me though, right? And it all started in elementary school. I was a little kid minding my own business. Wait, let me just clarify. This was second grade and after, not before kindergarten and first grade where I got kicked out of that place, If you haven't seen the last talking video, then you know. But in my second elementary school, I was more calm. Around third grade, I stopped with my evil things that I did. In second grade, it was still going on, but anyway. Right, so I remember one time we were just all lining up. I remember for some reason at elementary school, again, due to the hot weather and stuff, it's all outside, right? But anyway, we were all hanging out, we were all lining up. It was a Friday. Every Friday in the morning, we'd be lined up, and they'll be like, okay, everyone, repeat after me. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, etc., etc. And I'd be there, right? And I'd be doing the pledge and everything. I see it go past. The first time in my life ever seeing these things. And I see it go right past my eyes. That scared me so much. The first time I ever saw them, I've never seen these guys before. I haven't played these games before. So when I saw them fly by, I was like, oh my god. I was jump scared, basically. And he came flying by. And what I did next was just be confused. And I think this is why I started getting scared of them. It's what I saw happen. Because it's like a little kid, everything you see, you kind of take in and you learn, and it sticks with you. Like, as a little kid, I always watched like 3 a.m. videos, like, oh my god, Cartoon Cat, SCP, Happy Meals, don't order McDonald's Happy Meals at 3 a.m. or else Siren Head is gonna come on and attack your home at 3 a.m. And I used to watch that when I was little, and other things too, like these scary horror movies. So I thought if I would sleep up at 3 a.m., it would come real. And while I'm a little bit unsure about that now, even if I'm awake and I sometimes I wake up at night, I'll be sleeping, and I'll wake up and be like, oh, why am I awake? I just randomly wake up and I'll check the time and be like, oh, pretend it says 3 a.m. It'd be like, oh, it's 3 a.m. or it's about to be 3 a.m. right now. And I'd be like, oh my god, what? Right? I'd be like scared. I'd be freaking out. Oh my god, it's almost 3 a.m. Forget everything was gonna go. Use the bathroom, go quick, come back. Go back to bed. I was never awake. No one saw me. Can't be caught at 3 a.m., Anyway, back to the Beatles, right? So they'd be flying around, and I'd be like, oh my god, that's scary. And I remember all the kids were like scared. They were running, they were screaming. They couldn't believe what they saw. This green beetle was scaring them. And I was like, well, what is wrong? Then this guy, this beetle, he's flying and he gets in someone's shirt, and that person starts jumping and they're screaming and they're freaking out, and that beetle crawls. Oh my god, it crawled into their shirt, right? It crawled in and it was in their shirt. Oh my god. And what happened next was the most scariest thing I ever saw, okay? Because I remember I was like, oh my god. I was like this. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was terrified, okay? I was like 7 or 8 or something. And I was just there like this. Meanwhile, the kid, everyone backed away from them. The kid was left on his own, fend for themselves. It was scary. You could see the beetle going like this. It was going all over in the shirt. It was terrifying. It was so scary. And I was like, what is happening? That kid was screaming like he was being killed. It was so terrifying. And from that moment forward, never saw these green beetles again. That was my introduction to them, right? And throughout the rest of my life, I would always see them, remember that moment vividly in my head, and then I'd be like, well, let me stay away from these guys. I don't want to be anywhere near. So speaking of these beetles, right? Growing up, I would have more encounters with these guys. Each time somehow scarier than the last. And so my most vivid memories are 3 specifically. And the first one I'll start off right now. I don't live with my mom, right? I live with my dad. I have to visit my mom time to time, right? Yeah. So one time when I was like, I don't know, in 4th grade. 4th grade. I was in the car, right? Parked in the driveway to her home. I was just there. I was just minding my own business in the car. I remember specifically, I had a little box, like a little box like this. You'd open it. There were some strawberries inside. I loved strawberries back then. I love them to this day. I love strawberries. However, I was there, right? I was just in the passenger seat. The window rolled down. To this day, I'm scared to be in a car with the windows rolled down. Not because I'm scared someone's gonna break in, because I'm scared a beetle's gonna come flying through, because that's exactly what happened. And remember, I'm like in 4th grade. I don't know how old I was, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I was really small in 4th grade. Like I had like a high voice and a little, 'cause I was small. Like if I stood up, I'm sitting down right now. Let's say I'm standing right now. I would be like back in like fourth grade. I was like right here. It's kind of small, right? And so, I remember I was just eating the strawberries, right? And I heard, psh, I thought nothing of it. I kept eating. Psh, I thought nothing of it. I kept eating. That's when it happened. So fast, a beetle came flying through the window. I automatically got the box of strawberries. I threw it up in the air. I screamed and screamed and tried to climb out the window from the chair, in which I did. I climbed out. I rolled over onto the floor out the car window, and I ran into my mom's home. She was inside, getting her things ready to take me back home. And I was just so like terrified. I was like, oh my God, there's a beetle in the car, a beetle in the car. We came back. Where was it? In the box with the strawberries. It flew around inside, then it went down into the strawberries and started munching. Which is good. I'm glad they're eating. Almost gave me a heart attack right there. There are some other moments with these beetles too. Like, what are some other moments? Right, I got one, okay. I remember this other time, I was in a summer break. It was after, it was 2023 summer break, one of the best summer breaks ever, man. This upcoming summer break, it's gonna suck if I'm being honest. I've had way better. I'm already foreseeing it's not gonna be good for multiple reasons. I don't want to really speak of them. However, at least Deltarune is coming out, right? Deltarune, maybe I should play it when it comes out for this. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I will try. If, you know what? I'll do a poll. I will do a poll. Anyway, what's it called? What was I gonna say? Oh, right. It was the 2023 summer break, one of the best ones ever. And I was just hanging out. Remember, I was in the park, right? I was just hanging out at the park. I think I was there with my cousins, or was I there with my grandmother? I'm not sure. Mi abuela. Yo no sé. Pero I was there. I was just hanging out. And I remember sitting on like a little bench or whatever, and I was just there. I was left alone for a little bit. And during that alone time, I was not scared of being attacked or kidnapped. No. I was scared that a beetle would come after me, and my fears came true. I was hanging out, just minding my own business, and this makes me scared to this day when I go to a park, because I'm always worried something like this will happen. I was just there sitting down, waiting, maybe, I don't remember exactly what I was waiting for, but I remember just sitting down waiting for something, and I was just there waiting, right? And a beetle came flying right past my head. I remember I immediately got up from the table. I got up. I was terrified. I got up. I walked around away from the thing. I was like, oh my God, it's over. It comes flying right at me. I dodged. Like sands. I dodged that, right? I turn around, face to face with this beetle as it comes right at me. Right here, it lands right here, bumps into me, boom, latches on, boom, crawls up my forehead, crawls up my hair, it's right here. I scream, oh my God, I was screaming, it was up here, and then, the worst feeling ever, it started buzzing in my head, up here, I could hear, I could feel it bumping, and I screamed, and I threw myself to the ground. I started rolling over. I was terrified. Then the people I was with, whether it be my cousin or my abuela, they came back, and they just saw me on the floor, rolling around, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I was scared. There was a beetle. What beetle? The beetle. It flew away when they got there. So, yeah. I would tell more stories about beetles, but they're not the only bugs that have scared me, right? There is two more bugs that I think scared me, and then one bug that does not scare me one bit. And so I will be speaking about them when I cut to that. You know, moths, and no, I don't mean the moths that everyone thinks of. Big eyes, like boom, boom, antennas, boom, boom, beautiful wings or whatever, boom, boom, like that. No, 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 no. In my home, if you notice behind me, the wood is like that, right? And we have moths that they look like this, these kind of moths, right? And they kind of blend in, right? But they're I wouldn't doubt there's one like just chilling. There's obviously not, but they're okay. They don't scare me. You know what, bro? What I was just hanging out in bed. I was sleeping. It was early in the day, morning, right? And I was just hanging out. I was just sleeping, and I woke up, and you know what I see? There was a moth crawling around. I have like a little desk right here, kind of. And there's just a moth just hanging out right here, just walking around. They don't buzz, they don't make any noise. They're chill, they're small, they don't bother me. The only thing they do sometimes is I'll be walking and they'll be like flying around, and you can barely notice them, but I'll feel them like boom, I'll be like, and they'll fly away. They don't bother me. However, the moths that people love to talk about, and this is something that I think is a little controversial for me to say. I don't know if they're so cute. It's gonna be a little scary. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even looking at photos of bugs, it's a little scary. Specific type of bugs. So bear with me here. You know what? Alright, that alone would scare me, but that's not the ones I'm talking about. The first one. The first one. Can you see it? I don't want to look at it really that much, but the first one right there, that scares me a lot. I don't want to look. Oh my god. Okay, you might be curious. What's the big deal? It was a major deal. My whole life, I've always seen these things, right? Like in photos, never up close and personal, never real life. But every time I would see them, I'd always feel a little uneasy. These moths. People say they're cute. And sure, I can see the cuteness. But I can also see where it could go wrong, Because I remember, I always be like, dude, that's scary. Imagine I'm just hanging out right here, and I see it right there. Oh, just think about it. It gives me goosebumps, I get a little scared. And then what if it's right there, and it flies at me? Goodbye. I would no longer be here. My soul would leave my body, and I would be done for. However, you need an experience to truly be scared. Wait, no, that sounds bad. What's the right way to say it? Okay, I think it works good in this context. Before you hate something, why do you hate it? There has to be some lore, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, good example. I don't like a video game. Why don't you like it? I just don't like it. Well, why not? I just don't like it. Have you ever played it? I have not played it. How can you say you don't like a game if you've never played the game before, right? Now, there are some exceptions to that, but Minecraft, you could be like, oh, I love Minecraft. I hate Minecraft. Why do you hate Minecraft? I've never played it. I hate it because I keep dying. Okay, there are some solutions to that, but if you hate it because you keep dying, that's a reason to hate it. But you can't just hate something with no reason behind it, right? Hate is also a strong word. I might use dislike, right? Anyway. Okay, then I dislike moths. I don't hate moths, but I dislike moths. Anyway, every night I go out to get the mail, right? And usually they come in early in the afternoon, and I'll go out there. I'll keep walking out. I'll get the mail. I'll go back in. I'll read the mail. I'll see who it's for, and I'll pass it out. Here's your mail. here's our mail. You got mail, right? But one time, okay, I was a little late. It was nighttime. And in front of the front door, there's like a door, main door, wood, screen door, boom. Next to the screen door, like a light on the outside. You could turn it on from the inside, boom, boom, you know, like light on the outside. And so I remember one time, right? I just, oh, that was close. Okay, oh, no. Okay. Just stop. Relax. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, anyway. Okay, anyway. So, I remember one time, I was a little late. It was a little dark. The light was on outside. I opened the door. I open the screen door. I go down the little stairs. I go to the mailbox. I open the mailbox. There's the mail. I grab it. Close it. Walk on the stairs. I'm not even thinking anything right now. I wasn't really thinking of anything that much, right? I just got my mail. I went back. Oh my God. I just got my mail and I went back in. No big deal, right? Well, wrong. Because when I went back, one of those moths were there. Now remember vividly, it was like grayish white, right? And it was there minding its business until it saw me. Okay? I was walking up with the mail, and as I walked up, I made eye contact with it. I saw it. I was a little nervous at first when I first saw it, but as soon as I saw it, I knew it was game over. What was gonna happen? I was terrified. I've only seen these things in like pictures, videos, but seeing it up close and personal, I was terrified. Oh my God, it's right there. So you know what I did? Excuse me, by the way, excuse me for that. But you know what I did? I was gonna go around and use the side door. I'm not going to the main door. Forget about that. This door always belongs to the moth. I don't live here. I'll sneak on in through the other door. I can't do that. As soon as I turn to go back down the stairs, it got up. It started flying. It was on the screen door and it got off. It started flying at me. Remember, in the corner of my eye, I turn and I just see it coming right at me. And you know what I did? As soon as that happened, out of instinct, I jumped from the top of the porch down 4 little stairs. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. Here's the porch, here's the floor, and I jumped. You know what happened when I hit the floor? I went like this. Yeah, and I just got back up and I ran across the house all the way around. Dude, it scared me. I was scared. Now, I would just like to make it clear. I don't like killing the bugs. Any life is an important life. No matter what the life is, no matter how big or small, it's still a life, right? They still have they still have a life. They were a little baby. They grew up. I'm not gonna kill them. What? So I don't kill bugs, right? Insects, no. I saw it though, right? And then, I'm scared of them. I don't hate them. I don't know if I said I hate them earlier in the video, but I'm just gonna say right now, I don't hate bugs. I'm scared of bugs, but I don't hate them. They're not doing anything wrong. It's not their fault they're scaring me. I'm just scared when I see this thing flying at me, right? Already when I see them, I feel a little uneasy because, the legs, the buzzing wings, that scares me. Then they start flying at me. They start buzzing and flying around. You're doing too much. Come towards me. I'm gone. I'm goodbye. I'm screaming and I'm running. Anyway, another thing that scared me. This is something I won't be searching on my phone to show you guys. Because I'm pretty sure just by saying the name, you will know already what they are. Spiders. Dude, spiders are scary. I know what you're thinking. No. Yeah, spiders scare a lot of people, right? Apparently not everyone. Some people like spiders, and that's okay. Having a pet spider, You know, me and spiders have had like a love-hate relationship, you know. We went from enemies to like acquaintances now. Um, and I'll say why. I'll drop the lore. I'll drop the lore here and now. Me and the spiders, we go way back. Let me cut to that. What happened between me and the spiders? I'll say it right now. Basically, between me and the spiders, I remember as a little baby, I was scared of these things. I remember I'd be like, oh, there's a spider in my room. If there's a spider in my room, I will not be sleeping here. I'll be going to the living room. I'll be going to anywhere else. I will sleep in the bathroom, kitchen, hallway. I will sleep on the table. It doesn't matter. Spider in the room, as long as I can see it, it's okay. If I see where it goes, that's okay. If it's across the room, that's okay. If it's in my bed, no way, I am leaving. They can have my bed. I'll be sleeping somewhere else. So I remember lots of times, right? I'll only say like 1, 2, 3, 3 moments. Okay, it will turn from when I first met the spiders. Moments with the spiders where I gained their trust, and moments with the spiders where I was chill with them. And this one is the most important one because I actually had my very own pet spider once. I'll get into that soon. So remember one time, right? I had a pet spider. No, oh my god, I'm going too far. We'll talk about the first one, okay? So I remember lots of times as a baby. How old was I? Man, I used to take baths, right? Like I was in elementary school, I think, let's say like 3rd grade or 2nd grade, I would go in the bath. I'd have these little like fishes and boats and like, you know, like not real, you know, like toys, right? And I'd be in the pool, baths, right? And I'd be in the bath, soap everywhere. I never played with bath bombs that much. Besides, I think I had like a SpongeBob one, I'm not sure. And I'd be like hanging out. Oh, that just reminded me of, dude, I remember I used to love playing like with SpongeBob toys in the bath. I'd be like, okay guys, watch out, don't fall in the Great Lake of Doom or whatever, you know? Anyway, so I'd be hanging out, right, in the bath, playing with my SpongeBob, you know, playing with my Mario, sorry. Playing with, you know, SpongeBob toys, fishing toys. I didn't have any Mario for the pool. Bath. Anyway, so I remember vividly, one time, we're in the water, sat down, I never really had it before. You know the drain? There's like a faucet, it'll go down, and there's like a drain right here, and the drain, that's where the water goes down, obviously. I remember one time, right, I was just hanging out, and this spider, it was in the drain. I didn't see it though. When I put the water, the spider came out, and I screamed, I turned the drain off, I jumped to the back of the bathtub, oh, get away from me. You know, the water was barely even rising, right, and the spider was like walking around freakily, because if you put water on a spider, you know, that could damage it. The spider crawled out and left the bathtub. I was like, okay, sweet. Let me just take my bath, please. I turned the faucet on, and in from the drain, thousands, I feel like billions of these baby tiny spiders come flooding out, and I screamed, ah, oh my god, you know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I leaped out the shower, hit my head on the wall, and I ran out the door. No clothes, down the hallway. I was like, there's a spider in the bathtub, there's a billion spiders in there. My grandpa, he got up, he was like, man, he goes down the hallway, he gets a hammer. I'm like, wait, stop, don't hurt them. I just take a bathtub in like the other bathroom. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever, I left. Boom. That was that. 1 down, 2 more to go. So, there was this other time with a spider. I was in elementary school, right? I think it was 3rd grade, yeah. I remember in 3rd grade I had... What? Dude, I swear I heard something right now. I remember in 3rd grade I had like drama going on, right? With my friends back in 3rd grade. Um, I don't I'm not friends with any of them anymore. Sadly, sometimes I still think of them. I'm thinking of something a lot more than that right now as we speak. But um, sometimes I think about my old third grade friends, first grade friends. Yeah, I miss them a little. It's kind of crazy how long it's been, actually, if I think about it. But whatever. Or like other things. I don't know. It's something been on my mind for a while. But back to the spiders. Sorry about that. There's like these in my um. This is the recess, right? Wait, what? Sorry. Okay, cafeteria is up here. Classes on this side. That's a bad air because cafeteria right here. Classes on this side. No, sorry. Main office, cafeterias, classes. Blacktop over here would be like, like what's it called? The handball place or whatever, the basketball courts. I always wanted to play with everyone else, but every time I went, they'd tell me like, "Go away." They always tell me like, I'm not like this. They said they didn't want me there. I was like, "Hey guys, can I play?" No, they did not want to play. So it's like, okay, I can only help you in the classroom, but outside during recess, it's like you don't know me. What the heck? Why am I helping you if you don't let me play on the court, man? Whatever. And then over here would be like the, recess, the swings, the slides and stuff, the monkey bars. And I remember I'd always play on the swings until people would be like, "Hey, can you get off?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then I remember one time actually, someone said, "Can you get off the swing, please?" And I said, "Yeah," because they wanted to use it. They got on it. They said, "Okay, thanks." And then they said, "Never come back. Please don't go on the swings again." They said that I am like, what did they say? Like I was like burning their eyes or something. Like every time they see me, it was like horrible. Like they did not like it. Anyway, so there's like grass here. There's more grass on this side. Go like this. Sorry. I'm making this very late, kind of. It's like, what is it? It's 7. It's gonna be 8 right now. The last time I did this, the last like talking video I did, it was like 11, right? And at nighttime, I don't know why I'm sad at night. But, what's it called? Alright, so during recess, I didn't really get to hang out with anyone that much. The friends I did have slowly started hating me back in 3rd grade. But, I remember I'd always walk around in the grass. I'd go sit by trees, and I'd just sit there and I'd just hang out and I would just do nothing. I'd just sit there thinking about like, ooh, all the games I could play if I was home right now, right? I remember one time I was just sitting there and I felt something on my hand and I looked and there was this spider crawling around. I was like, oh my god, it made me jump a little. And I thought the spider was gonna start crawling up my arm, but it didn't. It stayed on my hand for a bit and it just sat there. It didn't move or nothing. And then I just sat and I was like, okay, I paid attention to it very closely. It was a moment of tension. I was very tense. But I knew if it were to crawl up, I would start screaming and freaking out. But if I did that, I would start getting made fun of by the other kids. And I don't want to be made fun of. It hurts. So what I did was I just, I tried to brave it out. I just closed my eyes a little. I would open my peek. I would peek. Oh, there it is, still there. Then I opened my eyes. It was gone. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, it was just crawling up a tree. Okay. And then the bell rang. I go back. That was that. If I'm always scared of spiders, how did I get a pet spider? Where did that come from? I know, right? So I remember I was doing the laundry once. This was like 2020 during like the quarantine and stuff. I don't like school. I said I like school back then. And I remember, right? I was just doing the laundry, and there was a spider on top of the laundry machine. And I was like, oh, there's a spider here. It was a little tiny one. It was like this big or something. And I was a little freaked out when I first saw it. But I learned to grow over that fear because every day I'd go back to, not every day, I do the laundry all the time, right? And I'd always go back and I'd see, oh, it's still here. But it never had any webs. I promise you, I looked everywhere. I found no webs. So once I decided not to, I was just gonna watch what it does. And it just walks around the laundry machine. It doesn't do anything. Like on the top, it would just walk around. And I was like, well, this is a little peculiar. I was always a little nervous, but it kept growing on me, right? One day I got a crazy idea. I got a little plastic cup. It was see-through. I went outside. I got dirt. I put some plants in. I make sure to get the roots. Put the roots in the dirt. Put the dirt around it. Make sure it's nice. Put some water. I got a flower, and I put it in the corner by the window right here. There's a window right here. I put it right there. And I just sat there for a bit. I let it grow for a little. Some plants were growing here. Some flowers. I just let it grow. Then one day I went to the spider and I said, okay, I can't believe I'm doing this. But I put my hand on the spider and put it next to it. I walked away, put it again, walked away. I did one of these, like around it, and it got my hand. And then I slowly walked it over here and shaking my hand. As I felt this thing crawl around my hand, and I put it in my hand, and it went out my hand, and it went into the little thing I made for the home. And I watched, and it was in there. I was like, wow, how did I just do that? Well, they were growing on me. It was just a little spider, and over time it kept growing on me. So I gave it a name. I named it Charlotte after like Charlotte's Web, the movie. I think it's like in a barn. I think it's more like a pig and a spider, but I'm not sure. I haven't watched it in so long. But that spider, it had made a big web, and I thought it was really cool. It's not here anymore. It died sadly. That makes me sad every day. Every time I think about it, I'm like, man, I actually had a pet spider, and it's gone. Makes me sad a little, and rest in peace. I will miss that spider, but it's okay. They're in a better place now. But I remember I was like I would feed it, I would bring like I didn't know what they ate. I mean, I do like bugs, and yeah, they caught bugs. They got those little brown moths. They got flies. There's no more flies in my home because I don't kill the spiders. When I would see them, I'd be scared, but I would never kill them. I would try to pick them up with like a paper towel. Don't squeeze, don't do anything. Just be very gentle, put it outside, and it'll walk away. But thanks to my experience with Charlotte the spider, I would never leave them alone. I mean, I would leave them alone. I would not disturb the spiders. I would not put them outside. I would let them stay. And thanks to that, we don't have any flies anymore because the spiders in our homes, like daddy long legs and other spiders, small ones. So yeah, I had a pet spider for a while, a couple like months. It was sad when they went, but I guess I have to move on from that. Even if you don't want to move on, sometimes you have to. It's messed up, but yeah. But there are other spiders that if I were to see, I'm like, no, you're not making me like the spider. Don't let me near the spider. I don't want to, I'm scared to even see. I'll be like, oh my God. Like if it was right here, I'd be like, goodbye. You know, and what am I talking about? Tarantulas. Big ones too. They are scary, and I would not be happy to see one, right? Anyway, there is one more bug I want to speak about before I end this video. What are they called? Oh, ants. They don't scare me. Ants, I love ants, okay? Specifically in 3rd grade, I had love for the ants. You know, during recess, I didn't have too many friends. The drama was going on where my friends hated me and stuff. I just moved on from that, and I went and I started watching ants. I would crouch down and I'd watch these ants do their thing. I found anthills across the grass field thing, and I would always watch these ants do their thing. I'd watch them go outside, pick things up, walk in, do their thing. I even started feeding them. Food from lunch, I would hide some in my pocket. I'd go to the ants and I'd feed it, right? I'd feed the ants. I remember one time, you know, I would always like look after the ants and take care of the ants. I love the ants. But what? Something happened, man. I'm gonna say it right now. The drama I was doing with my friends back then in 3rd grade, it was messed up. They always said I was like annoying, or they hate when every time I speak, because you say like every time I speak, it's like a nail going through their ear. I remember them saying that. I'm not gonna drop any names. That was 3rd grade. You know, kids do dumb things, right? And it was like my punishment for the bad things I did in my 1st and kindergarten class. But whatever. That's not what I'm gonna talk about. I remember one time he went up and he stole my shoe. He took my shoe off my foot. I was like, what the heck, man? And then with his foot, he kicked me. I was crouching over the ants, right? And he came up, grabbed my shoe from behind, boom. I got up, and he kicked me onto the floor. And my face hit the anthill, okay? And the ants started coming out, crawling all over my face, and I felt, well, I love the ants, but not on my face, okay? Don't get it on my face, okay? They can get it on my hands, okay? Get it on my legs, but not my face. Please, not my face. So these ants were scaring me, right? And I was already screaming, but I knew if I kept screaming, what if they went in my mouth? Don't get in my mouth, please. So I closed my mouth. I closed my nose. And then this kid grabs my shoe, puts it in mud, and then throws that muddy shoe at my head. Man, it was messed up. And what I did, I told no one, no teachers, no nothing. I went to the bathroom, I washed my face off, I washed my shoe, and I said goodbye. I just went to class after that. Because when I was in the bathroom, the recess bell already rang, and I was late for class, right? Whatever. But I felt so sad, because every day I would go to these ants, and I would always feed them and take care of them, and I felt like I was helping them. And I watched them slowly grow over time too. But this kid made me destroy the ants by pushing me into them. That was so sad. And ever since then, I never saw that anthill again. It was gone. And that's sad, and I miss the ants, actually. Every time I see the ants, mostly greetings, old friend. That's how I always feel when I see ants. But that's pretty much it. That's it. I think this video is longer than my planned 10 minutes. But if you made this far, thank you so much. And hey, comment down below maybe an insect that scared you, or an insect that you actually like. Because remember, don't hate the insects, right? They're probably more scared of us than we are of them, how small insects are and how big we are. So seeing them, it's like a big giant. They're like, oh my god. And maybe out of self-defense, that beetle just flew at me. Because they were scared, like, well, if I'm gonna die, let me go out fighting. So yeah, don't hate the bugs, don't kill the bugs. Every life, whether big or small, has a value. And so, goodbye, and technically for me, good night. So goodbye, good night. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and well, I'll see you in next video, which is every Sunday. I'll do another talking one. Stay tuned for that one because I plan to do about my nightmare experience at Chuck E. Cheese. So goodbye. It was me, Juan Weezy, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's Minecraft video. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, 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 bye. Goodbye.